It was the prosecution's time at bat as the first day of Lemaricus Davidson's trial began. He's the alleged ringleader in the January 2007 torture slayings of Channon Christian and Christopher Newsom. However, it was the defense that came out swinging. It began in opening statements when the defense refused to concede on any point. Unlike his brother, Latavus Pobbins, who admitted raping Channon, Davidson admitted to nothing. And in terms of DNA evidence that implicates him in the rape of Channon Christian, defense attorney David Eldridge told jurors that the DNA would only show that Davidson had, and I'm quoting, sexual intercourse vaginally only, and that it would further show, the proof would further show that sexual intercourse did not hurt Channon. The question is whether he is suggesting that the sexual intercourse was consensual. It is becoming quite apparent that the defense intends to take a little shine, attempt to take a little shine off the halos that have been over these victims for the last 2 years. Doug Trant, the first question he asked of the first witness was about marijuana that they had removed from Chris's truck. He asked Shannon's best friend about a marijuana pipe that was found in her apartment, which she said was not hers.
You don't recognize that?
No.
Was a marijuana pipe found in your apartment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It didn't belong to me, but it was found there.
Okay, and your apartment was searched when, do you recall?
Might have been Tuesday night. I don't know, actually.
Okay, do you know a Ronald Smith?
Yes.
I might approach. Do you recognize that being the Ronald Smith that you know?
Yes.
And she was friends of yours and Channon?
Yes.
Do you know of any reason that a prescription bottle of hydrocodone prescribed to Ronald Smith would have been in Shannon's forerunner?
No, we can't object.
I don't know about this, Mr. Tran.
Your Honor, I mean, it's one of the pieces of evidence in that forerunner.
Do you know the answer?
I would imagine she left it in there on accident.
If I might approach, Your Honor. Ma'am, do you recognize that purse, the red purse?
No, I don't.
The questioning disturbed the families of Channon Christian and Christopher Newsom, and during the lunch recess, a comment was made to Doug Trant that he termed derogatory as he was walking past a group of family members of the Newsoms. He said something back, and then it was over, according to the Newsom's family. However, Trant then reported that to the judge, and the judge gave a very lengthy speech to the families.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will not tolerate that. You are not to address yourself to these defense lawyers. They are officers of the court. They have been appointed by this court to represent Mr. Davidson. They are doing this job at the direction of this court. This is their obligation. They do this at great sacrifice to themselves and their families. And it does not matter what you think of them personally. You are not to address yourself to them. You are not to say anything about them publicly. I understand that there have been comments made to the media about these individuals. These are outstanding, ethical, hardworking excellent lawyers. They're doing their job. They're doing what I've asked them to do. They're doing what their obligation as officers of this court and as lawyers require them to do. And you are not to in any way impugn them. If you want to go home and talk about them in your living room, have at it. But you are not to do it in this courthouse. You are not to do it on the air. You are not to do anything publicly or to them personally that in any way impugns their reputation or their personality. Do we have an understanding with each other? Because I will not tolerate it. You will not be allowed to be in this courtroom if you do that.
We will start the day in the morning with continued testimony from KPD fingerprint specialist Dan Crenshaw. He's the one who actually found Davidson's fingerprint on Shannon's bank statement, which was inside her stolen SUV, and that was the first crack in this case. And he's also found a good number of fingerprints that seem to link Davidson to a lot of the material evidence found inside his house that belonged to Shannon or Chris or involved the killing.
When you did this examination on the exterior bag, what did you find?
I found a palm print. I compared it to several people's palm prints, and I got a match to Lemaricus Davidson's palm.